podcast, y'all. Just give me 1 second. I need everybody to tune in this one. This one's for real, for real. This one's serious. Right? We're going to talk about some things. And I want everybody to give their opinion, right? Because death is inevitable, right? That's one thing we have to understand, that what we got going on is death is inevitable, right? And I want to share some things with y'all. This might upset some people, and it might make you feel a way. And that's the whole purpose of you watching today's show. When you pass away, the funeral home is supposed to be the last place everybody could come that have love for this person or individual. And everybody's supposed to have that much respect to be able to say goodbye to their loved one. But what happens when the funeral home is doing bad business? I'm going to talk to y'all right now about a situation that took place in Westchester County, New York, specifically Mount Vernon, a city named Mount Vernon, where there's a funeral home by the name of Camelot, right? And it's off of Stevenson Avenue or Lincoln Avenue, whichever one you want to put it. But it's a funeral home where people who lose their loved ones, they conduct business with these people, and they expect to be treated with respect and care and concern because they actually doing business and spending their money, trusting these people to send their loved ones off properly without any mishaps, right? But what happens when the funeral director doesn't have a license? This funeral director doesn't have a license, and this funeral director had got an award, a proclamation from the mayor of the same city, right? While 13 bodies, 17 boxes of remains was found in an unlicensed New York funeral home. Let's get to it.
Dry and comfortable skin.
We got to talk about this, because what's happening is a lot of stuff is going on and things need to be taken care of. You feel me? This man needs to be brought up on charges.
A disturbing discovery in Westchester County. 13 decomposing bodies and 17 boxes of cremated remains allegedly found inside an unlicensed funeral home.
The state shut down the business and pulled the funeral home director's license. But even after all of that, authorities say the operator of the Camelot Funeral Home in Mount Vernon continued to hold funeral services.
Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Sola shows us how investigators
Axel, what's up?
this.
Hit the like button. Double tap the screen for me.
Now faces.
That's not fair. You don't do that to people. You don't do that to people. More than 2 months later, the grieving process has begun anew for Aloma Washington. Her 74-year-old mother, Estella Washington, died November 25th. Memorial services were held as planned at Camelot Funeral Home in Mount Vernon. Washington was supposed to be cremated a few days later, but the family was never given the remains.
He said, I know you're taking this hard, so if you're not ready to bring her home yet, I understand. He said, Mom will be safe here with me.
He is owner Michael Naughton, who's charged with operating the funeral home without a license. The state health department says an inspection last week revealed deplorable conditions. 13 decomposing bodies in various rooms. 2 were stacked on top of each other in the garage, and 17 boxes of cremated remains were found in the basement. But investigators did not locate a single death certificate for any individual, including Estella Washington, whose body was among those inside.
Someone was gonna go pick my mom up or whatever, like a month or so ago, right? So what if we would have went to pick her up and what was he gonna tell us? Or what was he gonna give us?
Naughton's license was revoked in 2019. Camelot shut down in 2021. Reopened, then was closed again last May. But the Attorney General's office says the facility conducted over 20 funerals since August. Aloma Washington says there was never any indication something was wrong.
He never let on that there was anything going on. And now my mom died in November. He lost his license in May. So just think about like what was in the bottom of that basement or whatever, and all the way in November, you're still taking bodies and you know you shouldn't be?
Naughton is due back in court later this month. In the meantime, any impacted family that has not yet spoken with law enforcement is asked to contact the Attorney General's office. In Mount Vernon, Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Hey, yo, whoever you are, don't worry about what I do. I definitely get my shit straight. See, when you work in your room, I got all types of business apparel everywhere, so I don't have to really explain nothing to people like you. Use the weirdo. But anyway, let's talk about this. Let's talk about how you go to lay your loved ones to rest and you think about doing the proper services or having the proper services, and the funeral director's a whole fraud. Criminal action should be taken against the funeral director and the city. The city should be held liable too, because the city's supposed to do its annual inspections. What happened to the inspections that were supposed to be going on? This woman passed away in November. This was 3 weeks ago. What you just heard was 3 weeks ago. So think about it. The woman that you saw on the screen, her mother passed away in November of last year. And the news is discussing it now. The man that ran the funeral parlor got a proclamation from the mayor. You see, this is what I do. I put out work. This is what I do. I create slides. See, I got a business. This is what I do. So that's why you see a lot of stuff everywhere, because I'm busy. At the end of the day, this is unacceptable. This is the stuff that needs to be talked about. This is the stuff that needs to be talked about in the home. Because now you really got to do some research up on the funeral parlors that are supposed to be taking care of your loved one when it's time for them to go on to heaven or hell, respectfully. What happens is now it's going to be a prolonged situation because the mayor gave that man an award. So now it's like the mayor is friends with the man. And how far will that go? How far would his connections to the mayor go? You feel me? It's Westchester County. Westchester County is one of the dirtiest counties and spots in New York State. They back criminal behaviors from their officers. They cover up bullshit like this, and they make you look like you lost your mind and you're going out your mind. And all you doing is trying to make sure that your loved one gets sent off the right way, or your loved one has justice that they deserve with all this BS going on. See, we don't hold each other accountable this way. What we do as a people is we run out here and we hate on each other. What we do is we want to gossip about topics and matters that really don't serve no purpose. This is something that needs to be talked about. You don't see people on podcasts talking about things like this. You don't see people on podcasts talking about innocent kids getting gunned down in the street. You don't see that. All you see is a bunch of people gossiping about entertainment. There's nothing wrong with giving your views on entertainment, but at the end of the day, some real shit is happening to people out here in the street, and ain't nobody gonna motherfucking say nothing about it. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing about it. We just gonna sit here and watch people just do whatever they gonna do, and nobody says nothing about it. This man was responsible for 30 bodies, 13 decomposing bodies, and 17 boxes of cremated remains was found. So that means when people was coming to get their loved ones, thinking it was their loved ones, they didn't even know if it was their loved ones that was cremated. This man didn't even mark nothing and have no markings. This man was an illegal business. And it was right here, the only funeral parlor in the city of Mount Vernon where it was affordable. That's why it was so affordable for people. Man was taking money and doing illegal business. Now that's a situation where the person really could get hurt behind that. You know what I mean? A person could really, that man could be potentially hurt behind that. We're not wishing it on him, but you don't know how people's families are taking these matters. How would you feel if you went to go send your loved one off, right? And then you found out months later that the whole business was a fraud. It was illegal. It was no license. That man was taking people money. They said he had 12 services. Felix Blocks plays games. Double tap the screen for me. They said he did 20 funerals in August. His license was took in May. So June, he did services. July, he did services. August, he did services. September, he did services. October, no, he did services. November, he did services. That's when the young lady's moms passed away in November. Last year. This year is when they finding all this stuff out. Do you understand what people and families go through just losing a loved one? But we don't talk about that. We don't talk about our own people doing us the way they do us. This is foul movement right here. Like, that's not respected, bro. Like that. How, bro? How? It's amazing how. To experience some things like that, that would drive people crazy. That man has to go in
Now
the
speaking out after a Mount Vernon funeral director was accused of operating without a license. Jade Nash has the latest tonight.
Services at Camelot Funeral Home are up in arms tonight. The reaction comes after a complaint revealed that funeral director Michael Naughton admitted that his license was revoked in 2019.
It's not good.
Why is it not good?
Because you don't have a license to operate and you're charging people money.
Anne-Marie Cherry says her family paid Naughton to handle her grandmother's body in 2022. When they got her death certificate, she says they realized something was off.
We noticed that it listed the funeral home located in Brooklyn, New York, with the funeral director of Tahir M. Khan, instead of Camelot Funeral Home director Michael Naughton.
Cherry says her family made all of her grandmother's arrangements with Naughton, so they were kind of confused and called a worker at the Brooklyn Funeral Home, Sonia, to see what was going on.
Sonia then denied handling my grandmother's body, but eventually admitted that she did so as a favor for Michael Naughton.
Now, I called Sonia for a response today, and she denied ever working with Naughton. She also denied handling Cherry's grandmother. Naughton didn't want our conversation to be recorded today, but says he will look back at his records and consult with the family. In the meantime, Cherry said this whole experience had just been heartbreaking for her and her family.
My grandmother was the cornerstone of our family and a respected figure in our community. We are seeking justice, and we pray that other families who have faced similar pain will also find justice.
And as we've been reporting, Naughton is expected back in court on February 19th. Earlier this week, he pled not guilty to one count of operating as a funeral director without a license. In Mount Vernon, Westchester County, Jade Knapp.
The man had the nerve to plead not guilty to operating a funeral home without a license, and he was taking all the goddamn money. Now the people in Brooklyn should be held liable too. Heavy lawsuits should go out. Now, the woman that you saw on the screen the first time and the other woman that you just saw, their families are going to be out in front of the courthouse in Mount Vernon, New York, tomorrow, 9 o'clock in the morning. Something has to give. They need to go to the mayor's office too, because this is unacceptable, man. The man is actually insulting people. This is what can get that man hurt potentially, because you're insulting families. You took money from these people, vulnerable people that trusted you with their deceased loved one, and a coward like you go out here and you take their money and do some old finesse bullshit. Excuse my French. And then the other funeral director got to go through it. So what you think's going to happen? They're going to have to come and testify against you. See, cats like these cats need to go to jail or something. That man got to worry about so many families wanting to do bodily harm to him. Never mind him go to jail or lose his license. He never had one. But now, since you ain't got a license, and then you pleaded not guilty, which is an insult to all those families. Rest in peace to all those deceased people that he handled disrespectfully. Double tap the screen. I need y'all to double tap the screen, man. Show the love, man. Help the algorithms. This is what we need to be talking about. This is the real stuff that goes on that we as a people, we act like we not worried about, but this could be your loved one next. He's probably not the only bozo that's doing things like that. Just imagine, for years, different people from all over, they coming to him and they physically sitting down in front of him and he's acting like he care about them. But soon as he get their money, he just put their people in the basement. Cremate some bodies. How you going about the crematory stages? Now that comes into question. But people, you got people's family members laying in the basement, rotting, deteriorating. And you got the audacity to say that their family is safe with you? This type of shit you should get the chair for if it was allowed. Respectfully. You the type of person they should throw over there in Iran while all them bombs and stuff is going on. You played around with people's minds, their hearts, their spirits, their souls, and their deceased loved ones. And you made it look like it was a damn game. You stacked bodies on top of each other. So who was in there helping you? Let's not forget about your helpers. Them bozos should be brought up in the criminal charges too. You was taking people's money and hiring people, not even telling them that you was no good. People are going to work thinking, dressing up, showing respects to people with care and concern, and you the only person playing the damn game. I hope you get what you deserve, because you's a POS. For real, for real. It makes me think about it now. I'm so thankful that a nigga didn't have that my family didn't have to experience that, but it's unfortunate that other families did. And I'm mad as if it was my family. These people is crazy. People is crazy out here that they would actually think that it's the right thing to do and cover it up. And then you insult people by pleading not fucking guilty. I just hope that nobody's family or family member actually runs into you in the street, because you deserve an ass whooping. You deserve a natural old school beat down, like for real. All of those families, every last one of them, every last one of them, every last should get your ass. Every last one of them. I kid you not. POS is what you are. That's what you are. You're a POS, bro. There's nothing cool about you. Nothing cool about that. Shout out to Mouse on the check-in. Double tap the screen, everybody. I need y'all double tap the screen, run the likes up, man. Share this with your family. This is real talk here. We talking real talk here. This is somebody that I know. This woman right here is somebody that I know very well, very close to the family. So I'm really tight. I'm really upset about the situation. And I'm just praying that even if I do run into you, beloved, and I don't know who you are, I just pray that my heart is not filled with hate, with anger and violent behaviors, feelings towards you. I can't speak for the family. The family probably wants your head on a stick, no freaky. And respectfully, you deserve to be in a situation where you should have to face all them family members. And I'm pretty sure they're not going to allow the family in the court when you go to court, because somebody's going to try. Watch, I promise you. And they only going to get about 10, 15 days for contempt. They might not get nothing because they're going off emotions. So a person like you is going to meet your karma regardless. People like you, though, y'all don't survive. Y'all don't last long. And you playing around with some people that you don't know nothing about. You don't know nothing about their families. You don't know how dangerous they are. You don't know nothing. You just taking people money, and you deserve everything that you get in the future. This is not going to go the way you think it is. It's not going to go how you think it's supposed to. It's not. And you don't deserve to have that much. You feel me? It says 13 decomposing bodies were removed over the weekend from a Mount Vernon funeral home that the state shut down in May, and the director has been charged with handling funeral services without a license. No, they want me to subscribe. I'm not doing all that. I'm not subscribing to Low HUD. I'm not subscribing. We'll go to ABC and read it. Go to ABC and read it. 13 decomposing bodies and 17 boxes of cremated remains were allegedly found in a disturbing discovery inside an unlicensed funeral home in Westchester County. It wasn't allegedly. They were found. The state shut down the business and pulled the funeral home's director's license. Authorities say the operator of the Camelot Funeral Home in Mount Vernon continued to hold funeral services for months after. Airplane just flew over my shit. Camelot Funeral Home. I don't know why my screen went black. Camelot Funeral Home, Mark. It says authority say the operator of The Camelot Funeral Home in Mount Vernon continued to hold funeral services for months after. More than 2 months later, the grieving process has begun for Loma Washington. Her 74-year-old mother, Stella Washington, died on November 25th. What the hell, man? I don't know why I keep doing that. Keep jumping it out. Her mom's passed away November 25th. That man's license was taken in May. He said, I know you're taking this hard and not ready to bring her home yet. I understand. He said, Mom will be safe here with me. State Health Department said an inspection last week revealed deplorable conditions, including 13 decomposed bodies in various rooms. 2 were stacked on top of each other in the garage, and 17 boxes of cremated remains was left behind in the basement. Investigators did not locate a single death certificate. We got all these planes flying over, so I don't know if it's kicking out my damn TV. You know, the United States be tripping. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, seriously speaking, Channel 12 News, Channel 7 News, Channel 4 News, your local news will be covering this. It will be covering this. This is what's happening out here. And these bozos is doing it. Look, all the way upper Michigan. It's covered everywhere. Chicago. Look, everywhere, bro. This shit is everywhere. It's out there in Chicago. It's on Chicago's news. It's in Michigan. This is this is a big deal. Everybody needs to be on timing. Everybody needs to be talking about this. Everybody needs to be talking about this. It could be your family member next. Not at this particular funeral home, but when you go to lay your family member to rest and you have their funeral services, now you got to double check who the hell is down with your shit. Who the hell is taking care of your family? Everywhere. This is everywhere. This is unacceptable. You and your family need to come down here and speak to somebody. Go talk to the mayor. Tomorrow morning, they'll be at Mount Vernon Courthouse, and then they're going to go to the mayor's office right across the street, and they're going to talk about this, and your family can sue the city of Mount Vernon and get a substantial amount of some money. It ain't going to bring your family member back, but it could at least help the family out. I encourage everybody who's involved and their family members was there to go and make sure that y'all make this man accountable and hold this man accountable for what he's done. This person this is a criminal act. This is a criminal act, and the man had pleaded not guilty. Yeah, everybody, share this. Share this. Mark, share this. I want everybody to know about this because this is real. People got really big lawsuits. People can sue the city of Mount Vernon for negligence because they were supposed to have monthly inspections. Even if it's every 6 months, they were supposed to have inspections. This man was supposed to show his credentials in that funeral home. If he would have had his credentials hanging, then everybody would have knew that something was up because the man didn't have no credentials hanging unless they was fraudulent. They had to be fraudulent or they was real. He just didn't notify people that his license was taken. What was it taken for? His license was taken before because an inspection was made and they found the same thing That man license was taken in 2019. He opened the shit back up, and then he opened the shit back up in 2021, they said, and then they shut his shit down. Yeah, his name is Michael Norton. Michael Norton. Naughton. Make sure y'all take legal actions. Everybody else, I need everybody else to actually go online, Google this. Leave your comments, complain. If that was your loved one, how would you feel? That's what I'm trying to get at. I need everybody to actually look at this situation as if it was their loved one that went through this situation. This is very sad. And what the families are supposed to do. What are the families supposed to do? You feel me? What are the families supposed to do? Y'all tell me. The family members are supposed to do what? What are they supposed to do? There's some family members that really want to hurt this man. Yes, it's wicked out here, bro. It's wicked, bro. Everybody needs to really do their research. This is what needs to be talked about. You don't see podcast shows or nobody talking about this. You might see Hassan Campbell talk about this. You might see 050, the movement, China Brim, Harlem Legend, 050 Nadi. You might see them talk about this. But you're not going to see no other podcasters talk about the real shit that goes on with us as a people, because they not worried about that. They chasing views. They out here chasing pennies, and they not really discussing the matters that really need discussion. YouTube gives you a platform. It don't give you a platform to just ramble and rant and chat and all this other shit. Bring awareness to what's really happening to us, man. Not if millionaires or actors or actresses or any of those type of people got situations going on. They already situated and comfortable. We have a problem of worrying about shit that don't make no sense instead of worrying about the things that make sense. Like funeral home directors operating with no license. That's serious. Whether this gets me views or not, I got this out on a platform. Maybe people will tap in and watch later. Maybe they'll be interested behind or for clicking what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They scroll through the shit, they click and they see what's going on. Maybe this will wake people up to understand and really start researching who they give their deceased loved ones to set up their final resting. It's a cold world out here. These people ain't moving right. It's a foul world, and people are just thieving money. People are money hungry so much. People are finessing a lot of people, man. Pray for the families, yo. Pray for the families, because they're never going to get over this. They're never going to get over this. And that man should be held accountable. That man should be held accountable for everything. And you got people talking about it. It's really real out here, man. It's really real out here, man. You got to be careful about who you trusting with your loved ones now. People are sick. People are really sick. People are do some sick things, man. And then act. This is even on TikTok. ABC ABC 7 in Chicago. This is on TikTok, bro. Everywhere got it. Everywhere's talking about it. Everywhere. That man should be held accountable to the highest extent, bro.
Now to a disturbing discovery in Westchester County. 13 decomposing bodies and 17 boxes of cremated remains allegedly found inside an unlicensed funeral home.
The state shut down the business and pulled the funeral home director's license. But even after all of that, authorities say the operator of the Camelot Funeral Home in Mount Vernon continued to hold funeral services.
Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Sola shows us how investigators uncovered this and what the funeral director now faces.
Double tap the lights. Double tap the screen.
You don't do that to people. You don't do that to people. More than 2 months later, the grieving process has begun anew for Aloma, Washington. Her 74-year-old mother, Estella Washington, died November 25th. Memorial services were held as planned at Camelot Funeral Home in Mount Vernon. Washington was supposed to be cremated a few days later, but the family was never given the remains.
He said, I know you're taking this hard, so if you're not ready to bring her home yet, I understand. He said, Mom will be safe here with me.
He is owner Michael Naughton, who's charged with operating the funeral home without a license. The state health department says an inspection last week revealed deplorable conditions. 13 decomposing bodies in various rooms. 2 were stacked on top of each other in the garage, and 17 boxes of cremated remains were found in the basement. What investigators did not locate, a single death certificate for any individual, including Estella Washington, whose body was among those inside.
Someone was going to go pick my mom up or whatever, like a month or so ago, right? So what if we would have went to pick her up and what was he going to tell us? Or what was he going to give us?
Naughton's license was revoked in 2019. Camelot shut down in 2021. Reopened, then was closed again last May. But the Attorney General's office says the facility conducted over 20 funerals since August. Aloma, Washington says there was never any indication something was wrong.
He never let on that there was anything going on. And now my mom died in November. He lost his license in May. So just think about like what was in the bottom of that basement or whatever, and all the way in November, you're still taking bodies and you know you shouldn't be?
Naughton is due back in court later this month. In the meantime, any impacted family that has not yet spoken with law enforcement is asked to contact the Attorney General's office. In Mount Vernon, Marcus Solis, Channel 7.
Y'all better. Everybody, even if it ain't your family, contact the Attorney General's office. Speak to Letitia James. Let her know that your family experienced the same thing this family experienced. There's people in the chat. Yeah, do that, Mouse. Do that, Mark. Do that, because hit the Attorney General. Look her name up. It's Google. You could Google it. You could find it. This is crazy. You disrespected the dead by stacking dead bodies on top of each other. You had 13 bodies. That means physically you had 13 dead bodies in your basement in different rooms. Who was helping you put them bodies in them rooms? They just as guilty as you are. Boy, I would let you have it, because if you two wouldn't strike my pay, I would lay into this dude. No freaky. You deserve all the karma that you gonna get, though. You're a horrible person. And horrible people like you, y'all don't survive, bro. Y'all don't survive. They need to give you 13. They need to give you 30 charges. They need to give you 30 charges. They need to give you a robbery charge because you took money with under false pretenses. I seen people get locked up for that shit too. You took money under false pretenses. You should be sued where you should be in debt for the rest of your life. People should own your life. You should be a slave to these families. respectfully, and I don't believe in slavery, but at this particular time, he deserves to be a slave to all them families that he mistreated, that he robbed, that he finessed, that he manipulated, took advantage of in their most vulnerable times, bro. Disrespected their deceased. Cat like you need to be fried like a egg, my nigga. They need to seriously increase penalties for cats like you. You don't deserve to be out here surviving no more. You need to go up in that can and eat that bullshit food. That's what you need to do. You need to go up in that can and sit up in there for 10, 15 years and run into some family members that's in the prison system that you done disrespected and put a dead body on top of another dead body. What type of fucking morality that you have, bro? What type of moral compass do you have where you don't even feel no type of way? You put a dead body on top of another dead body in a room. Just leave them there. Air getting them, they swell up, a whole lot of shit start happening. The body start deteriorating, and you know what that shit smell like? Decomposed bodies are in the basement. Why did they take his license in 2019 is the question. And how the fuck was he able to get it back? And it wasn't him. It was some other people in Brooklyn, because that's where the fucking paperwork goes. The paper trail goes all the way back to Brooklyn. So it was the director and the people in Brooklyn was in cahoots together. So the people in Brooklyn should be held accountable and held liable for everything. That's where the lawsuit should go to. Both of them. People in Brooklyn taking bodies for a man who ain't got no license. This man's having staged processions. This man's having staged funeral processions in an illegal spot, and he's illegal handling it. But who's helping him take the bodies? That's what we want to know too. Who's helping him take the fucking bodies and put him in a room? Because he can't carry a dead body by himself. Who's helping them stack them bodies on top of each other? Gotta be at least 4 people. Has to be at least 4 people. Can't carry no dead body, bro. And all them people that's involved, they gotta be soulless. No, they ain't got no soul. Y'all know y'all ain't got no soul. But y'all gonna reap what y'all sow. And y'all gonna deserve everything that y'all get. I need everybody who's watching, even if you pull up on this page and you just happen to catch a few, I need y'all to get in touch with the New York State Attorney General Letitia James. Google her, leave emails, call the office, complain about this, because your family could go through this shit next. God willing, God forbid, we don't want you to go through it. But there's other funeral homes that's out here operating out here. So when you are sending your deceased loved one to a funeral home to have processions and send them off so everybody can come and say their final goodbyes, make sure you do your proper research and do background checks on the fucking funeral parlors. Do the background check on the person that you sitting in front of and giving your money to and setting up dates and all this shit. Make sure before you actually give your money up and sign papers that you do some research on these people now. If they doing it, who else is doing it? Make your circle a dot. Keep your grass cut. Keep your grass cut. Watch for the snakes. Be observant of your surroundings. Most importantly, stack chicken. Yo, everybody, go holler at the New York State Attorney General. Tell her that this shit is not acceptable. More charges need to be put on this motherfucker, and he must pay restitution. Till next time, I'm out of here.